Welcome to part 3 of my Turning Your Toddler into a Little Talker series. Hey, it's Morgan, and if you're new here, welcome to the Passable Parent channel. I've been a pediatric nurse for the past 10 years specializing in early childhood development, and I'm also a mom. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on any future videos. And make sure to comment down below if you have any questions. I love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. The process of developing language skills begins long before you hear a child's first words and consists of multiple components: interacting, understanding, expressing, and how your child sounds. Today, we are going to be going over the expressing skills your child needs to develop language and begin speaking those first words. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my videos on part 1 and 2 of this series to get your little toddler talking. Late talking is a big concern for many parents today, and many parents aren't sure when to worry. While it is wise not to compare your child to others and know that no two children develop exactly alike, there are patterns of communication skills that babies and toddlers acquire within broader age ranges. If these skills are not emerging and developing within that time frame, we know that a toddler might have a speech-language delay or disorder. When communication delays are left untreated in early childhood, research tells us that the risks increase exponentially for future academic and learning issues. In today's video, we will be discussing the third component of these skills, which is expressing. Expressive skills consist of more than just talking. Before we hear words from a child, we always see other signs of communicative intent emerge first. Communicative intent means that you can see that a child is trying to communicate with you or tell you something. Toddlers first begin to do this by crying intentionally or whining. Then they advance to vocalizing their needs and wants purposefully, often by grunting or using single syllables that sound like commands, such as da. Toddlers who are developing their expressive language will begin to use purposeful gestures like reaching out for you or trying to direct your actions. Those kinds of body movements turn into real gestures that we recognize as communicative, such as pointing to get you to look at something they are, waving bye-bye, or blowing a kiss. All of these gestures begin around age 12 months when a child starts to imitate others. Gestures are also important because your child usually starts using them just before using real words. Now, there are some red flags that every parent or caregiver should be aware of when it comes to expressive language delays that I want to go over with you. If you're concerned about any of these red flags, please notify your pediatrician. The first is no babbling by 12 months. Another is no back and forth gestures such as pointing, showing, reaching, or waving by 12 months. No consistent imitations of actions, sounds, and words by 15 months of age. No words by 16 months of age. Less than 50 words at 24 months. No two-word phrases without imitating or repeating by 24 months. None of that back and forth conversational turn-taking by 30 months of age. And finally, any loss of speech, babbling, or interaction skills at any age. If your toddler is over 2 and is still not talking or only says a handful of words, there is an expressive language delay, and the best thing you can do is to contact your pediatrician for resources available to you to help your little one. If your child is developing more slowly during a time when other peers are rapidly progressing, your child could be falling further and further behind, which is something that no parent wants to see. The good news is that not only can you contact your pediatrician for support, but there's also things that every parent or caregiver can be doing at home to help their child with that expressive language. The first thing you can do is to teach your child how to imitate actions during play. Telling your child to give you a high five or singing songs like head, shoulders, knees, and toes, or if you're happy and you know it, are critical first steps to helping them learn how to talk. Your child needs to begin to learn to do their part or participate during the game or the singing. Introducing simple sign language is also a great way to help your baby learn to express themselves and communicate. It's also something you can implement even as a young baby. Try functional signs like eat, more, milk, or book. And if you haven't already, check out my video on teaching your baby sign language. If you have a late talker, many times single words are too difficult for them. Try fun play sounds like animal noises and car noises, and encourage them to repeat those silly sounds after you as you play together. If your child is struggling with expressive language skills, simplify what you say to your child and repeat it slowly so that your child can imitate those words. It's still important to expose them to a wide variety of vocabulary and speak to them often, but if you speak in mostly single familiar words when you are trying to encourage your child to repeat you, this can be really helpful. And remember to expose your child to as much language and interactions as possible. Focus on words your child needs to say to get what they want, like foods, toys, and events. Words for colors, shapes, and numbers and letters aren't as important for late talkers or children beginning to learn how to talk. Focus on words that actually help them communicate their needs and their wants. It's important to remember that children don't need to just learn to talk or parrot and repeat things. They need to know what the words mean, that they are actually trying to say, and they need to use those words to communicate with others. It's also really important to remember that toddlers aren't nonverbal because they are stubborn or lazy. I've heard people say this, and it's just simply not true. Late talking is a developmental delay or disorder that may require intervention like speech therapy. Waiting to get help is the worst mistake many parents of late talkers feel they have made. The sooner you can get help and intervention, the better outcomes for your child. I hope this video was helpful and gives you the tools to help your child learn the expressive language component of the skills needed for speech and language development. And again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos discussing the other components of speech language development and how to help your child learn them. And if you have any questions for me, make sure to comment them down below. Thank you so much for your time today and for your support. I hope to see you in the next video.